Hey folks, Leavaris here from twitch.tv/Leavaris. This will be episode 3 of the Mob Farm build. Our first episode, we did our Mob Farm. The next episode, we did our sorting system. Now this episode, which, forgive me, I'm going to try to go through it very quickly because there's a lot to cover in this one. This one is going to be the loot recycling system. And for those that were following the series, this wasn't here last. Basically, I did everything identical to what we did in the second build. I copied it over here, okay? Just to save a little bit of time, it's literally identical on both sides, all right? Absolutely identical on both sides. Other than it is not connecting to the chest. That's literally it. Alright, so let's get started on this. The first thing we're going to need is a chest placed down. Boom. Right there. That is our collection. Our collection chest that our activator is going to be pushing. And then we're going to want an autonomous activator. Which we're going to wrench so it's facing inwards. Now, obviously, the activator is going to need power as well. So how we handle this is actually pretty simple. We're going to take a Stirling generator and plunk it down right next to it. From that Stirling generator, we're going to send item conduit out the top and across one. Alright? And then inside that locked barrel, we're going to put some coal. Some coal that you already have. Once you do this, it's basically going to be auto-renewing. The loot bags have coal in them. So, basically, we're using the coal that we're going to be getting from the loot bags to keep all of this powered. Alright? So, we're going to set that to extract. And set this to insert. And we're also going to drop in an octadic capacitor. You don't have to do this, but it just keeps a ton of... well, I mean, it optimizes the coal burning, right? It increases it and then decreases the burn rate. So you get a ton more power per piece of coal. And that's it for that. That's done. This activator is now powered. Alright? Later on, we're going to be adding in an alloy smelter and all of that, but let's get to that first. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to feed this activator. Alright, so we're going to get back out our item conduit, and we're not going to do that. We're going to plunk that down. We are going to have an insert down the bottom. And then remember over here on our sorting system, we're going to punch out or pick out the corners of the loot bags. And if you don't have flying yet, oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to build a platform underneath to get started with this if you don't have flying yet. Coming underneath here, you're gonna connect all of them and then disconnect it from the main feed. Right? And then we're gonna go in. We're not even gonna bother setting our probe. You're just gonna set these to always extract. Oops. Unless you'd prefer to have them on a switch with redstone power, but I don't see why you would want to do that. Okay, now that they're extracting, we're literally going to bring the conduit down, making sure we disconnect it along the way. And there we go. Yes, this smeltery is a part of the build. We'll get to that in just a moment. And because I don't like it being messy. Boom, done. And then while we're underneath here, we're going to have this one set to insert. And already, that should be pulling the bags out. Did I not do it right? Oh, yeah, no, sorry. It's pulling the bags out already. We're just going to set that to sneaking. And boom, it's done. It's starting to empty out the things no, we didn't want that. Yeah, there we go. So that's how well it's working. It's already emptying out the things in here. We want this to fill. Alright? We want this to fill. So for now, let me empty my bar here. Now what we're going to do, just like the other side, we're going to come into here, and we're going to start picking out the stuff that we want to keep. Right? I did that wrong. Anyway, we can move it around. Very important. All of the iron pieces. Very, very, very important. And the dark ender on iron. Dark steel pieces. The dark steel... I guess we're going to put on this row. I really should have had that on the second row, but the sword's below it. The iron, if you notice, I already have some iron set up over here. But the iron, across the bottom row. Very, very, very important. All the iron pieces. Right, and you're going to want pulsating. And the ender pearls. I like keeping the name tags. And the gold. And the certus. And the rails. The rails count as iron. Right? Doesn't matter what you do with the rest of it, or where you put it. Again, I like putting that up the top. Vibrant. Buckets. Iron horse. I like keeping the safari nets. I usually don't keep the wheat. Lapis. Hearts. Chance cubes, but you're probably going to have lucky blocks. That's just because I have it added. Emeralds. Boom, boom. Buckets down the bottom because they're iron. Iron horses down the bottom because they're iron. Electrical steel. I like keeping the uncommon treasures as well. I like keeping the books. The bread. The redstone alloy. And you just basically fill all these up with all the stuff that you want to keep. Not seeing much of anything else that we want to keep out of that. You might want to grab yourself a sigil if you don't have one already. Yeah, so that's probably... Well, that's definitely not it, but... For the sake of the tutorial... that'll be good enough. Because I know we got some more iron pieces. I do have to wait until we got the barrel. Here, let's do this. Let's do this. Loot. Bags. Oh, it's gonna let me do that or not? Oh yeah, it did. It did. Alright, so I just gained... We just filled these up. This is just to speed up the tutorial, guys. Alright. So now, what I usually do for the first few passes is go in and delete everything. Now I just deleted redstone, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Delete everything that's here. Right? Because now this starts to generate new stuff. There's the boots that we needed. The cubes. The diamond horses. I'm not seeing much of anything else. The nether quartz. Diamond horses. Quartz. Put the cubes there. Dems go there. So yeah, you get the idea. You get the idea. Take this and this. I'd say you get the idea by now. So anyway, you fill it up with all the stuff that you want. Basically, is the goal here. Okay. And then we break this. Right? And instead of putting a chest at the end of this, we're going to put in a loot recycler at the end of this. Alright? We're going to put in a loot recycler at the end of this. Boop. And then we go insert. And that's done. Alright? So now, even though I know it's not perfect, we didn't fill it and get all the stuff, you're going to do that. Now, this, all of the stuff we don't want. Okay, so this is going to pass through all these barrels, giving us all of this stuff. Right? So we got our mob farm to sorting system, loot bags to autonomous activator. Activator's pumping it into the chest. Chest is pushing the items from the loot bags all through the conduit / barrel system here. And when it gets to the end, all of the stuff that we don't want to keep is getting put into the recycling system. Boom! Now you can see we have... Look at the loot bags that are getting created here. Right? Insane. So now we take this system a step further. And we basically loop those loot bags back into the system again. Right? I guess we're coming this way. Actually, no. I didn't... Normally, I don't do the smeltery until a little bit later. But I was trying to save time for the video, so it's kind of out of place. But anyway, you just loop the bags back into the system. Right? So now, not only do you have a loot bag source from this... See how it's going down? It's actually going up faster than it's going down. But it's actually pulling the bags that it's creating out and sending them to the activator when the activator has space, which it's going to have a ton of space in a minute because these are running out. Right? They're running out. So as soon as this runs out... Actually, it's going to be pulling the rest of them. But anyway, you get the idea. You get the idea. So now this is a complete looped system giving you 100% of the loot that passes through this turns into this stuff that you want. 100% of it. Otherwise, it just sits there and keeps looping and looping and looping. Okay, so now for the next part of this. Alright? Since we're probably starting to run out of time. We're already at 14 minutes. This is going to be above 15 minutes, sadly. Now for the next part of this. You punch out the bottom. Or pick out the bottom where we had the iron. Right? And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to disconnect that. And then we're also going to disconnect that. Alright. So now this comes down. And this one comes down. And they connect. Right? And then we're going to set all of these to extract.
User joined your channel.
Set all of these to extract.
Sound muted.
Sorry, Shorty. I'll get with you in just a sec, bud. We set all of these to extract. Active without... Damn it. Always active. Always active. Always active. Right? Okay. So that's pulling them out. And now what we're going to do And this is going to be a bit messy, so forgive me. You guys can come up with a little bit better of a system for the piping. I normally do. But anyway, we're going to insert. So now that's pushing in all of that iron from that bottom section that we're getting from those loot bags. That's pushing it into the smeltery that I had pre-built. So you're just going to build a basic smeltery. Nothing special. Right? Basic smeltery. And then underneath these, you're going to put another set of conduits. They're going to be extract. And then they're going to connect to... Oh my god. I'm running out of places here. We're going to widen this out a bit. Hope I'm probably confusing the hell out of people by now. All I did was widen that out. Yeah, so now we're gonna pull this down, keeping it all disconnected, don't forget. Right? And then that's gonna connect to here. And once again, you can make it pretty all you want. And then these two barrels, if you remember, were the ones that I had iron in. You're going to set them to insert. Right? And then we're going to use our fluid conduit to pull the iron out of them, out of the smeltery, and into the blocks. So now we're making blocks. Right? And normally what I would do is on the third one here, or even another row over there, I would have some blocks and some to ingot. And they're turning this iron into iron here and pushing it up. Alright? And again, you guys have to neaten all of this down there. This is kind of a speed run on how this works. And then also... Guys, the reason we put this stuff on the bottom last episode was the exact same thing. We're going to punch out below them. I forgot to add this a minute ago. We're going to punch out below them. And we're going to connect them. And we're going to disconnect right there. And then at this point, this gets sent over to right here. Separating that. He's confused yet? Alright. And then we set these to extract. Sometimes I like putting the switches on this part. That way I can turn this section on and off. Because sometimes I want string. And sometimes I want the flesh. Or sometimes I want, you know, arrows or whatever. You can turn it on and off. But for now, we're just going to leave it on. And then that one comes up here. We're going to set that to insert. And now... this stuff, you can see draining the bottom row. Because all of that, the bones, all of that works with the loot recycler as well. So now that's also feeding the loot recycler. Look at the bags that we have here. Look at the stuff we have coming into this. Right? So now we have an absolute huge amount of bags coming in. Loot bags, which are being automatically... This can't even keep up. It can't even keep up with it. Eventually it will keep up. So, I have no idea why some of this messed up. That never does that. Oh, when I cross the pipes down below for a second. Yep. Yep. I'm going to double check to make sure that that's still not crossed. Yeah, we crossed the pipes for a second right here, so it sent the pipes in. Alright, so now we have our mob farm, our loot sorting system, our recycling system, and then our iron system, which, guys, don't forget, I was going to include it on this episode, but I'm not going to. Don't forget, over here, close to your tank, set up a small cobble gen with a crucible on top of it, right? So it's constantly making lava and pumped out lava into that seared tank, and then you can set it and forget it. You never have to worry about it. But the last part of this system that I absolutely have to show you, when we're already over our time, is the dark steel system, which is actually a very important part of this, because later this basically makes your wither cage for you, for your first few manual wither kills, and eventually your automated wither kills, without having to worry about, oh my god, I don't have enough material of the reinforced blocks. So it's very simple. You plunk down an alloy smelter directly in front or attaching to the generator, pop in on octatic just so it can store more power, and that's literally it. Now what we do is, using conduits, we connect, and this is why I didn't want it in the corner, but whatever. We connect the sword and the boots, so they're on an export and then an import, and then now it's pulling them and smelting them, right? Now this is gonna smelt them into dark steel ingot, and then it very simply, and messily. Oh, you gotta love my conduit work here. It's never like this, I swear. Disable, and remove. And basically now you set this one to extract and insert. And now, bang, it's taking the swords and the shoes, turning them into, not graphite. It's because I had that attached for a second. Turning them into, well, we'll watch this one. We'll turn them into dark steel that'll flash, and then it'll literally go up there where we have already 164 plus 2. So this will make it 164 plus 4, I believe. I believe you get 2 from the swords. No, 4 from the swords. And that gives us, yeah, there you go. Boom. Plus 14, I don't know how that worked out. Anyway, you guys get the idea. That's it. When you're ready to do the wither, you have the dark steel that you need to make the reinforced obsidian blocks, which are a pain in the butt when we get to that point. Plus, you already have the obsidian for it, too. So that's it, guys. I know we went a little bit over. Thank you guys for watching. You guys can check me out over on twitch.tv/Leavaris. I'm live there 7 days a week at 6 a.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment. I love your faces, and I will see you guys next episode. Bye!